The Republican Senator John McCain, by contrast, has been blunt about the crisis and says US aid should be cut off in accordance with American law. Well, let's get more now on this with our correspondent in Washington, Jane Little. Jane, a lot to think about for the White House. Is there really a prospect that they could cut off aid according to what Mr. McCain wants?
There is, and there has been pressure from elsewhere, as well as John McCain, to call a coup, as he would put it. And he himself said he'd be reluctant to cut aid. It is the US's leverage there. We're talking about £1 billion a year in military aid alone, plus about $250 million, so almost close to £200 million in economic aid. So it's a very significant sum of money. However, there's an active debate in Washington about how best to retain some leverage in this crisis. And some people saying, well, you should cut off aid now and the military will sit up and listen. Others saying actually the military will wager that the US is not going to give up its leverage by not signing a check, that the US needs the military. And in fact, Jay Carney, the White House spokesperson today, said that. He said as much when he said that it's not in the best interests of the United States to cut off that aid. The US has very active interests in the region. Egypt is a very important ally when it comes to dealings with Israel and protecting Israel, access to the Suez Canal, national security interests here in the United States. So there is a very active debate. And for now, what Jay Carney is saying is that we're going to wait and see, we're going to monitor, and he wouldn't be drawn on how long that review is likely to take.
The problem is, the longer that the US is not seen to be doing something in regard to the situation, the longer it looks as if it's going to be out of touch.
Yes, there is that risk. It is, as Jay Carney said today very succinctly, he said it's an incredibly complex and difficult situation. I think the problem for Washington is that you would have seen the protesters out on the streets actively associating Washington with President Morsi. They felt that Washington had too enthusiastically embraced President Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood, and they were very angry with Washington about that. What Washington has been doing since then is trying to distance itself from President Morsi. It's not asked for his reinstatement. It's calling for democratic elections. It's calling for the democratic process to move forward. So it's basically hedging its bets, saying we're actively engaged with all sides and we're urging reconciliation and a peaceful democratic way forward.
Jane, many thanks. Jane Little there, reporting live from Washington. Thank you.